In this lesson, we will talk about stickers. Stickers are either PNGs or GIFs, so little animations. I can add them like this. It is going to quickly download it. And as you can see, there is, for example, this one. There are a lot of stickers, but they aren't usually too good. They're subdivided into sections, and I've never found anything that is good or that can be used on a video except sometimes some arrows, but it's really rare. Usually finding assets online is better. Even these emojis aren't the best. I don't see myself using an emoji like this in a serious video. Not at all. Of course, you're free to check out all the stickers, and if you find something that you like, you can add it to your favorites if you're signed in. But I didn't find anything good, so let's move on to effects. Effects are a really good section. It is subdivided into sections again. I believe that the best section is the lens one, as you can find a lot of blur, motion blur that is often used in content creation. There is also this really cool effect, which is edge glow, and we will use it right now. What edge glow does, as you can see, it is going to affect mainly our real estate here. As you can see, there isn't a glow around the PNG because we imported it from the internet. But if I go on the edge glow, as you can see, this is now glowing as well. Therefore, I will go here at the start of the compound clip. I will zoom in to make sure that I am at the start. There we go. And then I will drag it all the way. And this is what it looks like. As you can see, it is adding glow to every single sticker or PNG or whatever you want to call it. And also to the real estate one, so they're all the same. You can also modify how much you want the glow to be. You can make it lower, you can make it higher. Usually I leave it around default. You could also, if you want, add keyframes. So make a glow of 25 here and a glow of 100 here. And as you can see, it is slowly improving and becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until it's the max. I will not do that though, because I just like it to keep it on default. Then I will also show you how to blur stuff from your image. So let's say, for example, I wanted to blur his face, all right? This is not what we want to do in this video. I'm just showing you a practical example to use blur. So the first thing that I will do is Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V this clip so that I've copied it. The next thing that I'll do is use the knowledge that we used before for the mask and go in circle, because that's the shape that most resonates with a face. Then I will disable the one below so that I can see the face here. I will shape it correctly. I think this is good enough. And then before adding the blur, what I will do is make sure to track the mask. So what I can do is going at the first frame, hit a keyframe on position, then move forward and move this, and it's going to create another keyframe. And then I do the same thing again until I have tracked the whole image. Perfect. Now that we tracked the whole image, let's see if it's good. And it should be. As you can see, the face is always tracked. And now what do? Well, we simply add the blur effect to this image. We can choose how much intensity do we want. I think I'll go with something like this. And then we enable this one. And as you can see, the final result is this one. One of the ways to use it is not with faces, of course, but one of the best ways is if you're, for example, you're opening a folder and you want to blur it out, or if you want to blur out your personal information once you're signing in a website, you can use this kind of stuff. Usually, if you want to do this for a website or personal information, rectangle is the option that works the best, because you can easily select a rectangle of personal information. For example, if there's your email here on a website. What I could do to smooth out this blur is apply some feather, for example, 2. As you can see, without a feather, you can clearly see the edges. Instead, with a feather of even 2, you can already see that it's more smooth and better. You can also adjust the feather with this handle, but I suggest using this number right here because it's easier. I just highlighted all the text. I will now move it lower. To move it lower, you move it wherever you want, for example here. And then it doesn't apply to every text, of course, because it didn't click apply to all. But I don't want to apply to all because these are also captions and all of these text would go on the same position as well. So what I will do is just move one of the text wherever I want. Then I'll go low to position, and then I want to put the Y of the text at the same amount of this one. So I will click here, it's this number, I will copy it, I will highlight everything once again, and then I will copy it right here. And as you can see now, the scale is applied to all the text. I will also add the feather I was talking about. So we go on the media panel, and there is this little thing called library. On library, there are a lot of assets that you can use for free. What I'm using right now is a black screen. This thing only lasts 5 seconds. So what you can do is go with the player head wherever you want, click edit, freeze, and now you have a frozen screen. You remove the rest, and you can expand this as much as you like. Once you have your frozen screen, you go wherever you have your background with the paper, and you make the length like that. We also copy it right here. We will use this by creating a mask, which is horizontal, flipping it, and then going around right here, and applying a lot of feather. I'd say like this is enough, so that wherever there is this background, as you can see, there is a little black here that helps the text to stick out from the background. And I will also copy this and paste it right here so I don't have to recreate the effect. Actually, there we go. And as you can see, this is what it looks like. I could also apply this to the whole video, but since Alex Hormozi has this kind of black thing already, you cannot really see it. Therefore, I'm not gonna do it. I will also show you some other really good effects. First one being neon outline. Basically, it creates a neon outline like this. I will show you the right way to use this, because if you use it like this only, it doesn't look too great. So the best way that I've found to use this is to go on a clip, for example this one, you apply the effect, then you disable all the rest, you export the clip as an MP4. Once you have exported the project, what we're going to do is bring the exported version right here, and then we're going to cut it once it ends, which should be here. We remove the effect since we don't need it anymore. And now we go on adjustment. We'll get on color grading later. But just as a quick tip, saturation all the way to the bottom, -50 is black and white images. That's all we need to know for now. And with this knowledge, we can make this effect black and white. Then we go on video. We leave the blend mode to normal. We reduce the opacity to around, I'd say 40. And then, since we don't want the background highlighted, we only want the character, we're going to go on cutout, auto cutout. And as you can see now, the only one that is highlighted is the character. I don't really like his face because, as you can see, it looks like his eyes are never open. So what I will go ahead and do is go on video, mask, horizontal, turn this 180 degrees, and remove his face. So this is what it should look like. Perfect. I will also fade it a bit because if you pay attention, you can see that the bird has 2 different colors. So let's see now. No, it's way better. And this shirt is all shiny. I like that. So that is a way to use the neon outline effect. Another function that I want to mention is this section here, body effect. All the body effect can be found in the video effects, but if you're looking for effects, especially for bodies, this is the right section to search in, as they're already all here. And there is one that I really like. You can sort them again by these sections right here. One of my favorite ones is this one. It basically does an outline around the character. I really like it when I'm creating edits, and there are a lot of ways to customize it. So how much you want the environment to be black, I usually turn this all the way down to 0 or a little bit. And then if you want the stroke to be a certain color, you can decide the strength. You can decide how long is the line. As you can see right here, it's really long. You can choose the size. I usually leave it around here at 30. Lower the range, the strength around 80, because the strength is just how bright it is. So as you can see at 100, it's really bright. At 0, it's not bright. So I usually leave it at around 80, 90, depends. And then you can choose how fast it moves. I usually make it pretty quick. Also, ideally, you want it to only, stop once it's done half circle or maybe full circle. You don't want it to continue. So you could do something like this. There we go. That's perfect. That's a really cool effect. I highly suggest you to use it. The last effect that I want to talk about is rebound swing. And that's because, as you can see, if we play this clip, it's pretty static, everyone is standing still. And there is this effect, which is really good, which is called rebound swing, that if you apply to the compound clip, is going to animate the icons. So as you can see here in the player panel, they're moving. Now, we don't want them to be synchronized as they are right now, because it doesn't look really good. As you can see, in order to make the movement not synchronized, what we're going to do is undo compound clip. And as you can see, all the clips are alone now. And we are now going to cut at around here at their keyframe where they go in their last position, around right here. And we go a couple of frames forward and we cut the clip. And we do the same for all of them. There we go. And then we're going to apply the rebound swing effect to each one singularly. And they're not synchronized, but they still go at the same speed. So what I will do is put the player head where there are all of the clips. Click on the special effect. Click on the clip. Go right here where there is written effects. Modify, and I'll reduce the size and speed of every single one, but I will make sure that the numbers are slightly different. So something is a bit quicker, something is a bit slower, stuff like that. They're all moving a bit too slow, so I'll put the size and the speed up of all the effects. There we go, and let's see how this looks now. As you can see, there is a bit of movement now, and the background is changing as well, so it's pretty good. In this lesson, you have learned some of the main effects that you will use, such as edge glow, rebound swing, and also this really cool streamer stroke, and also the neon outline to create this kind of effect on the shirt. And in the next lesson, we're going to talk about audio.